All right, what's poppin', Tub Nation? Welcome back to Tub Takes. This is a video podcast where we go over what's been making waves in the VGC scene. Today, I am joined by my co-host Adi. Welcome back up top there. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. It's good to be back. I heard that people unsubscribed because of the lack of light show last week, so I hope that you all resubscribe this week.
Of course, of course. I was definitely missing it. And so we'll be talking about the GC a lot today, and of course we have the winner of the global challenge. I almost called it the grand challenge again. The global challenge, Fede, joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing?
Hi guys, pretty fine, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. And we also have John today. John was streaming in our Tub Nation marathon and also qualifying for Japan Nationals, and we'll be talking about the experience of that. So, John, how are you doing?
I am very tired because it's like very early in the morning, but
Yeah.
happy to be here. It's been a long time. Always love to join these things when I can. And it's Golden Week, so I still have the time to do so.
Nice, nice. Yeah. You got like time off right now because of holiday, right?
Well, actually, I have work today, but it's like early in the morning, so it doesn't really matter since I don't have to check into work for a while. But
got it. Well, thank you
technically,
for.
I was on holiday until today. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So,
I see.
Not
Okay.
good.
Well, thank you for making the time for us today and for waking up early.
No worries.
So, if you guys are here now, but you're not going to be around to watch the whole thing, you can check us out on YouTube, on Audie's YouTube channel, CK49, !YT in the chat. If you want to see where that one is, there it is. Okay. And then if you have any comments or questions for our guests, feel free to leave them in the chat as well. We'll be watching that as we go along, so you guys can contribute to the discussion. In the meantime, though, I think the first bit of news, because I don't really have any tournament signups to mention upcoming or anything like that, besides VictoryRoad hosting another tournament, which I'm not going to go on a tangent about because they always do them on the same weekends as at NA regionals. But I'm not going to talk about it. We're going to keep moving. Global challenge. We have a big download ad. I'm going to click download and see what happens. Cool. All right, so the results of the global challenge are here, and Liberty Note has been doing a great job of collecting them. Thankfully, because I don't know, it's such a mess always with these things because the results are literally everywhere. So Liberty Note, the GOAT for putting all of these in one place, especially like the tweets and stuff. So we can just click here and it'll take us right to Fede's tweet here about winning the global challenge. 411,000 players, and you want it using Ariados. So I guess without doing like a full team report or anything though, Fede, tell us how you ended up on Ariados and maybe some of the rest of the guys too.
Okay, so basically, my first idea is that I just wanted to play Charizard with Sylveon because I felt like these two were extremely strong, and I liked that I think this is basically the only way to play a fire and fairy offensive core that you can bring together in this format because most of the teams that have been doing well with the fire and fairy cores have been playing with the Charizard and the Mega Floette, but actually you cannot bring them together. So I feel like this makes the synergy between fire and fairy being suboptimal because like historically we have had Fluttermane, Chiyu, Primal Groudon, Cernias. Basically every single pair of a good fire type and a good fairy type has never been bad. Has always been like top meta. I feel like this is probably the best. Maybe only fairy and ground is better, but yeah, it is the best two offensive typings you can put together. So I wanted to try out Sylveon instead of Floette because of that. And basically, the main point that made Sylveon overall weaker than Floette was the fact that it was slower and more frail. So I felt like these 5 months were an extremely offensive core. So I was like, I can play most of my games with these 5. So it doesn't really matter if the 6 is something that I bring much less times than the rest. And this is what made the Ariados come in because it's like, I was like, Sylveon mainly needs redirection, protection from Sneasler, and speed control. And Ariados does all of these things extremely well. So this was the concept behind the Ariados. Then the thing is, actually, it ended up being a good call, but not for the reasons that I thought. Like, obviously, the concept of protecting Sylveon was right, but my idea was like, I am gonna protect the Sylveon from Sneasler by doing that, and it ended up being like, I think I have never brought Ariados into a Sneasler matchup during the GC, and it ended up just being my Rain matchup. It completely carried my Sableye Rain matchup. I think I won every game into this matchup thanks to the Ariados. So it was extremely valuable anyway. Just not for the reasons I initially thought. It was also very good against those Shell Smash Blastoise teams. Because setting up
Sure.
Tailwind into that with Aerodactyl would have been trash. But immediately removing out the speed boost from Shell Smash was very valuable.
And so I just wanted to double check, but what was the full moveset on Ariados?
It was Knockoff, String Shot, Rage Powder, and Protect.
Okay, so yes, String Shot, kind of like an inverse Tailwind, as you were saying, you know, puts -2 on both of the opposing Pokemon. The only downside being that, you know, if you hit a King Gambit or something, then you might be in for a bad time. I don't think we really have any, you know, clear amulets not in the game, and I don't think there's a whole lot of clear body Pokemon. That'd just be like Dragapult at the end of the day, anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
which will die from Hyper Voice from Sylveon.
yes,
So
true.
there is
true.
pretty much nothing that could avoid String Shot from Ariados. But as
Yes.
as I mentioned, it was mainly used for Blastoise. I think Blastoise was my favorite String Shot target.
That's so funny. That's so funny. I mean, like, and the thing about Ariados is, like, looking at the redirection options we have in this format, you know, we're very much lacking Amoonguss. We have Sinistcha, which is great, Mousehole, which is great, and, you know, some other fine options like Clefable and Vivillon. I don't think any of them resist Fairy. I think that's one of the only things that this Pokemon can do, Ariados specifically, is it has a decent defensive typing for clicking redirection, specifically Rage Powder, that is.
Yeah, like Bug Poison is probably the worst offensive typing ever, but defensively it's not that terrible, I think.
Yeah, 100%. You get that, notably that fairy resistance without being weak to ground. So nice into a lot of these physical Pokemon.
Yeah.
Can definitely just take some hits.
One other thing is that basically I checked the list of redirectors, which is obviously the first thing I've done before coming up with Ariados. And the first thing was like the only two mons that learn Follow Me are Maushold and Clefable. And obviously both have trash defensive typing synergy with Sylveon. So I was like, I'm definitely not gonna use any of them. And then the Rage Powder guys are Scovillain, which will be weak to Dark Claw, and will be a third Mega on the team, so obviously I cannot fit it. Vivillon, who I will mean I cannot play with the Sash Bask, and it's also not really bulky. Then there was Sinistcha and Ariados. And
Okay.
even though like Sinistcha does not take that much more damage than Ariados from Diaclo, because actually it has much more defense. The thing is that Sinistcha could be both poison and sleep from Diaclo. So there are multiple chances it goes really bad against Nizzler. While Ariados, it has Insomnia and Poison type, so it could only get parried. And one other thing is that after testing and figuring out that the best thing about the Ariados was the Rain matchup, it's also better than Sinistcha here because Sinistcha will be weak to less respects, and Ariados is not.
Okay. That's super sick. Yeah, I honestly, I'm very impressed with the Pokemon. I can't say that I hadn't looked at it myself for different reasons. Like, I thought it also gets Acid Spray, which is like funny on Trick Room teams. You can like Rage Powder, Trick Room, Acid Spray, follow up. Like, I think that I'm not going to diminish your finish with Ariados here, because I think that a lot of people have written off this Pokemon, but it just kind of really shows that, you know, we can make almost any Pokemon work in these limited dex formats. That's like the real fun of it, when, like, you know, you're trying to find a specific role. You know, if we had like Ogerpon or something, like Ariados is probably not going to be ever a consideration.
I mean, Ariados will be better than Ogerpon and redirecting Sneasler and Rain, but obviously Ogerpon is just stronger.
Yes, right.
Also, I think like if we had Ogerpon and Mega Float will be a crazy strong couple of mons, because basically Float has Flower Whale before the Mega. So before the Mega, you will get a clear amulet for your Airflame.
Right.
It will be crazy. When we are getting Airflame Float is gonna go crazy.
I had thought about that for Rillaboom already. I was like, Rillaboom Floette, nuts. But I didn't even think about it for Ogerpon Floette. That's true. God. No, please. Let me ask you one last question about one of the more boring picks on the team, technically, is Aerodactyl. Because you ended up going for the Mega Era Aerodactyl here. And honestly, this Pokemon has been on the rise so consistently that I was doing some internal ranking myself just to like kind of see where my head was at, and I think Aerodactyl might be like the 4th best Mega at this point. I don't know. Where do you feel like that's about right, or do you think that it's just like kind of like only good because it's a secondary Mega kind of thing?
I have might sound like a wild take about it, but I think Aerodactyl is the single best Mega in the format because like it's the fastest Pokemon on the format, and unfortunately, this metagame it's heavily based on Rock Slide RNG, and this it's most likely almost never gonna be outsped, and it's always gonna be the first guy pressing Rock Slide, so it's broken. And also, I feel like obviously if we're just talking about the Mega form and not the overall, maybe there are better stuff. But I feel like the fact that when you do not bring your second Mega, you will always Mega Evolve and have a very strong Pokemon, while you could also bring the base Aerodactyl and use Tailwind to support your other Mega. It's like how consistent the Aerodactyl set with Megastone is, I will consider the best Mega in the format. If we only talk about the post-Mega Pokemon, I will say that probably Charizard and Floette are still stronger, but Charizard and Floette are unplayable without the Mega, while Aerodactyl is much more flexible. And I hate it. Like I am an hater of this Pokemon. I don't like it, but it's just too strong. I feel like you should. I will not say that. I feel like if you're not using neither Mega Aerodactyl or Aerodactyl in general, or like Scarf Garchomp, Excellent, or whatever, if you're not using an extremely fast Rock Slide, you're throwing, because this format is heavily based on that, which is also why I do not like it that much. But I think you need a fast Rock Slide here. You do not. Other people are gonna scam a lot of your games by flinching you with Rock Slide. You also have to do that.
Adi, there's your thumbnail.
I actually totally agree with that, to be honest. So I'm like on the opposite side of that coin, where Aerodactyl was something I used a lot back in like 2014 era, which even back then I usually didn't run Sash on it. So the fact that Mega Aerodactyl is really popular now and it's catching on, it just makes a lot of sense to me, because back then I used to also just use Aerodactyl without a Sash. And, some people would use Mega. I didn't, but I think that was definitely an option you could have. This is the fastest Rock Slide in the format without a Scarf. And yeah, Rock Slide is just completely unchecked move that they haven't balanced in like, I don't know, 2 decades at this point, which, really tells you how much their priorities are. I guess the fact that it misses is fine, but just a lot of
they came for
variance in
Ironhead
that
though.
move.
It's not.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what they're thinking.
I think that triggers me so much is that they nerfed the flinch chance of Ironhead,
right?
And they did not nerf Rock Slide.
I know.
Crazy.
I don't know. I like Ironhead could be annoying, but it's not Rock Slide for sure.
And
I want to bring it back.
Everyone's
go
been
ahead,
saying.
go ahead.
Everyone's been saying with Pokemon Champions, this is their opportunity to do regular balance patches on top of everything else. This is the test, right? This is the first test, because I agree. This format, I've been absolutely miserable. I can't believe that I've been waiting for Champions for so long, and I've just not had fun because it feels like every second game is decided by a Rock Slide flinch. And so I'm really curious. Are they going to do something about it? Maybe after Regulation MA, when they introduce new Pokemon, maybe they'll do something about it. Also, we'll see if Aerodactyl continues to be as dominant when they release a bunch of new Megas and whatnot. But oh man, I agree. It's been Mega Aerodactyl especially. It's easy to outspeed Aerodactyl. I've seen people running things like Mega Lopunny, for example, to triple axle these Sash Aerodactyls. But if you or Scarf Basket Legion, right? There's so many Scarf mons that can outspeed it. But all of a sudden, at Mega Aerodactyl, it just outspeeds basically all the Choice Scarf Pokemon too. It is, it's crazy good. I had one last question about the. Oh, go ahead. You can respond.
This is also why I do not like this Scarf Basket Legion a lot, because it triggers me so much that if you play Scarf Basket Legion, you are forced to run Jolly Nature, which is suboptimal and trash, just because the normal Aerodactyl exists, and then Mega Aerodactyl is still gonna outspeed you. This makes me so mad. Like this thing is so unfair. But I have I've been doing quite well in Reg MA since it began, but ever since I started using Mega Aerodactyl, it started feeling just much easier. And I feel like the amount of games that people stole me and the amount of games that I stole to other people just was like, before it was like 9 games they steal me, 1 games I steal. Now with the Mega Aerodactyl, it's extremely balanced. Like you should play it probably. I mean, Scarf Garchomp was also there, so I also had a faster rock slide.
True.
Yeah, 2 fast rock slides is twice the amount of games stolen, right? So, I mean, every
Yeah.
time I queued up in Garchomp, I was like, please don't be Scarf. And like that was my experience in the global challenge. Like, if this thing is Scarf, I just lose because they click rock slide or earthquake, and I like can't do anything about it. And the speed factor is just the biggest thing. Like the fastest rock slide in the format, plus another fast rock slide in the format, just means twice the chance to get some extra damage and get a free turn. Free turn is good, sets it up for like more chip for Sylveon and Charizard and all that stuff. So, yeah.
So
I totally agree.
the I want to bring it back to your take about it being, the potential best mega, and I think that like it almost isn't it's the best mega only because like it's like the second best mega, like you can put it with everything kind of thing. Like there's like a lot of different megas that can be used with it, whether it's Charizard or Floette or some of the other ones. We honestly thought it was probably going to be like Tyranitar doing a similar role early on, but Aerodactyl, very consistent at doing its job with or without mega, like you said. And then we're going to be talking about Victory Road a little bit later, but I think something else we saw was that in Top Cut here, every single team is a double mega. This is something I was very wrong about early on in the format, as I just said, like, I don't think double mega will be that good, and I'm okay admitting that I was, wrong on my early take. I was just like, it's such an opportunity cost to be running a Mega Stone on a Pokemon that you're not always going to be Mega, but just having the ability to have a Mega Pokemon in all games when your one Mega gets pressured out, or sometimes it's another big factor is, of course, the lack of items. If we had a much better item set, then maybe some of these Pokemon, like a Tyranitar, would be running Assault Vest more commonly or something. But the reality is the format that we have, double mega, has never looked better. It's really running the show.
Yeah, it just like, if I will not use the Megastone on that slot, what the fuck will they be putting in? Will they use Quick Claw, Bright Powder? Am I gonna use this? It's better to use another Mega.
Right.
3100
So,
VST is quite a good item.
Adi, go ahead.
I noticed on your Victory Road team, as we panned over to that page, that you dropped the
yeah.
Ariados for an Aegislash. Is that because of open team sheet, closed team sheet, or what was the thought there? And do you think that your GC team is viable in best of 3 as well?
Okay, so the first thing was some of my plans. Like, as I mentioned, I beat most of the rain teams with that were leading Sableye and Basque Legion into my lead, because my lead was always Simeon Ariados, and my turn 1 play was always protect and knock off into the Basque Legion. And these literally always worked. It was always the same exact turn: Rain Dance, Wave Crash into the protect. But the thing is, I feel like when you see an Ariados, some people might not even know what it does, but maybe you don't know what it does. You open Showdown and check what it might do, and you see Rage Powder. So you will say, what, like, it's, I feel like I will say that the average Clefairy situation, like when you're in front of Clefairy and Calyrex Shadow, what will you usually do? You will most likely always double the Calyrex Shadow, because what you think is, if the Calyrex will protect, what the fuck is Clefairy gonna do? Worst case, they follow me, and it's like if I attack that. So
they're clicking sing. They're clicking sing,
but
baby.
maybe some people. I know, but this is why I always said it after you is shed. But let's say they have after you. This is most of the time was the case. So some people will just ignore it because they feel like this is their redirection mon. And let's say I had a Mausol maybe in this format, which only has Super Flight. I will say the Mausol is doing nothing. I will always attack the other slot. If they protect, there is no problems. So I feel like I was always pretty confident about that play, because the funny thing is that if someone would have ever attacked the Ariados instead of Sylveon, I would have instantly lost. But I was pretty sure that people not knowing about knockoff would say, what the fuck is this silly spider doing to my strong fish, the strongest Pokemon in the format? So I was just like, I will protect my damage dealer and knock off the Basque. I feel like open team sheet surely would have made this not possible. But one other thing I'm not gonna lie is that when I locked Ariados into the GC, I was just not really sure about the potential. Like, I was like, I will just lock a Weirmon to make content, and if I win the GC, I will farm interactions. So that was the first idea behind it. Then I actually think it performed really well, and some of the matchups, like for example, Aegislash is still really good in the Rain matchup, but not as good as Ariados. The idea is basically that Aegislash, despite not being a redirection, it's still direct Sneasler counter. It has a really good synergy with Sylveon because they cover each other really well. So it still protects Sylveon from what should be its most common counters. And also, the team was kind of lacking a higher amount of very immediate damages on Basque Legion. And having Shadow Sneak being an 80% damage with spell tag was something that the team was missing. And obviously, Aegislash is much more flexible than Ariados. Like, Ariados just had its specific matchups. You bring in like 1 or 2 matchups, and it did a great job in those matchups, but it was just that very few ones. While Aegislash, you could bring it in a very high amount of matchups. Maybe you can bring it one game and bench the other. It's just much more consistent in a best of 3 open team sheet. And also, like, right after publishing the Ariados team, I have played a couple games with it on stream yesterday in Battle Stadium, and like all the matchups that were completely carried by it ended up feeling ass. Like, it seems like after releasing the team, everyone know what it does, and it was just
No.
not as good as before. So it was just like, I feel like Ariados was a good call. Specifically, I will say that there were higher chances that I would not have won this GC with Aegislash, but at the same time, I feel like Ariados was just the right slot in the right moment on that specific context, on that specific team. I do not expect Ariados to be getting any other result anymore, which makes me feel good because I will be remembered as always by the only guy with an Ariados result. So that sounds good. But I will be happy if someone gets a result somewhere with my team. But if someone would ask me if they should play my team in any tournament, I will say to play Aegislash or something else. But in best of the open team sheet is just better.
No.
Makes sense. Although, in closed team sheet, Ariados, you mentioned it, you're running knockoff. Knockoff was so essential. It gets a lot of really good moves, not only one of the very few Rage Powder users in the format, but it gets First Impression, got a huge buff. Toxic Thread also got a buff. Like, I would have,
Sure.
that was my first thought when I was looking through it. Like you said, Alex, you can run Acid Spray. Like, I don't know. I think if we have more closed team sheet tournaments, I could definitely see this guy because of his versatility.
Maybe with another stat. Because it also has like Disable, which is not extremely strong on a slow Pokemon, but it's still viable. It gets Sucker Punch, it gets Foul Play, it gets Struggle Bug. I will say it has a crazy strong move pool. Like, if this move pool was on a better stats Pokemon, it could have been just a common meta threat.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do remember, like, the core memory I have about Ariados is like, I'm gonna keep talking about 2014 because that was the format I remember the most. But back when I think Adib Alam was active, he and I were in like a multi-battle tournament at like Worlds 2014, and he brought Ariados as his redirector because in that format it's 6v6, three people, or one person chooses 3 Pokemon multi-battle.
Right.
Honestly, it put it in work. All it did was click Rage Powder. Okay, and that's kind of all it did. But the fact that it was Insomnia and it had Sucker Punch and it was like, nobody knew what it did. It actually kind of worked in that format. Everyone could use a Mega, so every battle had 2 Megas. And yeah, that was one of the formats of all time. It was an awesome time. Definitely one of my core memories about this Pokemon. I like it a lot. I really wish it had more stats, but I mean, the move pool is actually quite good, and the typing, aggressively is not good, obviously, but defensively it's not bad. And beside the bad speed and it's like a pretty good Pokemon when you put it at the end of the day. Good at its job for sure.
So I think
what
we should do now is maybe dive into some of the results of the GC. But I did want to mention 2 things before I forget, which is one, that this was obviously, I guess we could maybe, before we go into the results, pivot over to talking about John's story with the GC, because that's part of what I was going to mention, is that this was Japan's qualifier for the next stage in their world's qualification, basically, and I think the follow-up tournament is this coming weekend. So we'll be seeing even more yeah, laddering or not laddering, just more. But this is only Japan. So I don't believe that other regions can compete in this. It's just the top 640 players in that one. And I think, I guess I'll cut it over to your tweet, John. So the cutoff, what was it at? It was at,
Yeah,
man.
so basically, according to a tweet by, I believe it was Takamanaishi, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's who I saw it from. He was talking about how someone with a rating of 1763.84-ish, which was like 738th in the rankings, made it through and got the notification in game that they were able to compete in the next stage. Whereas someone who was 742nd, which is like a 1763.81, or maybe like an 82 situation, I don't know, they were not in. So basically, in between the places of 738 and 742 is the cutoff, which is right around 1763.8. I ended at 1763.1, which in the past, for these kinds of qualifications, I think is definitely safe. So I don't really feel bad about stopping at 1763.1. However, um, if you, well, I guess most people haven't played in the Japan circuit before, but having played in it before, I can tell you with pretty large amount of confidence that this is a pretty risky like area to stop. It's always where the cutoff is, essentially, somewhere around the low 1760s. So if you stop here, you're basically leaving it up to the entire rest of the pool. You're like kind of asking them to put in the rest of their games to get above 1763 or whatever, get into that last little point. Whereas if you stopped at like 1758 or 1759, kind of on you. I think another player I follow kind of mentioned a similar thought process where you are essentially banking on other people not making it past your rating at this later stage of the global challenge. And of course, in the past, we had a couple of different tournaments that let you qualify. Instead, this time we had this one big batch of 640. So the stakes were a little higher for sure. In my case, I had a previous commitment that I was going to go to if I didn't make it through. So I really don't feel all that bad about missing it. I mean, kind of makes me sad that I'm not going to be able to go back to the States this year, but like when I weigh the amount of, I guess, internal turmoil that I would have had to go through if I wanted to play more games, maybe lose, maybe have to win more, I don't really regret stopping here. It's just like I ended up on the wrong side of the coin. I was probably like 40 spots away from 640 when you put it that way. Like 738, 742 is the cutoff area. 783 is not that far away. I mean, so
Still,
ultimately, it's just the same system we've been going with for a while, and it just happens to be new game. Everyone's trying to compete. The pool of good players is like expanding. Even here in Japan, I would feel um, that's true. And of course, CTS new format. Everyone's just trying to do their best out here, and this is how the best I could put through, at least in the amount of time I could put through.
right. Yeah, some people are asking about anybody knowing other players. Me and Fede were talking about this off stream, and not super certain if we know of other players that are like, you know, I don't know, other Worlds players that had missed it this time around. I hadn't really seen any. I don't know if you had heard of any out of your John. Um,
I'm
Mitsu
sure if
didn't make
when
it.
we go to look at the VR like list or the VR list, the Liberty Note
Liberty
list, they are collecting down to top 1,000, even though the cutoff is around what I said was
Yeah,
738,
I don't think we're gonna go
642.
through the full 1,000. I thought about that.
I
I was
mean,
like,
we don't
that's
have to,
quite a
but
lot.
if they collected anyone past 742, you can tell like who maybe like barely missed the cutoff essentially.
Yeah, that's true. That's a
Most
good point. That's a good
people
point.
most people probably haven't put in their team information or anything like that. But I feel like you can kind of assume the general same trends have been going through. I know I've seen a lot of
Some infos
wacky
about some
stuff.
of the highest places. Um,
Mhm.
because Ubislow was my last game to get first. So
Ooh.
he was playing Rain with Mega D-Knight. It was like Sableye, Basque Legion, Arcaldon, Venusaur, Mega D-Knight, and Pelipper, but I have the video of that. Let me double check. And
Okay.
also, I am not sure about that, but someone told me that Suika's team is basically the same as me, but King Gambit over Ariados, which is why I didn't
Yeah.
win.
So
But
true, so true.
okay, yeah, I confirm Ubislow's team is basically Sableye, Pelipper, the classic two rain guys, Mega D-Knight, Mega Venusaur.
Okay.
And then I don't know a lot about the rest, but it's interesting to have the teams of the two highest placing Japanese players, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. No, that's awesome. That's
And
huge.
so I have tried out a little bit Wolves team in the morning today, and this Snorlax with thick fat stockpile and Fisher feels fucking broken. Like, if you do not have Sneasler on the team, it's untouchable. And it has some mind games on team preview, and obviously most of the games when you rely on it, you just hope to not get crit. Like there are very high chances of having bad RNG with this team, but if you don't get this bad RNG, you just cannot kill that thing. It's extremely bulky.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
I've
go
been
ahead, Ari.
saying I think Halucha is real, like the Mega Halucha fissure stuff, because you can like you said, everyone's using double Mega right now, and so I think there's some teams that can really utilize Halucha as a secondary Mega. Obviously, that's not the highest investment. It's also like a real Pokemon with fighting flying coverage. It's like just good. It doesn't have the best speed tier, but then yeah, if you can, there's a lot of Pokemon. I mean, Snorlax being the prime example, but there's a lot of Pokemon that randomly get Oko moves, and you can if you can spare a move slot on a Kingambit or an Excadrill or a Snorlax, and you can run like a real set around it, I really think like yeah, we could see more of that, and Wolf might be the just the first person to have really picked up on that. I think Freezeye was also really high on that when he was streaming more regularly.
I saw another Japanese player using it as well that I think made it through the qualification stage, maybe. And you were saying that the stabs on it are quite good. I believe they dropped one of the stabs on this one I was looking at just for Stone Edge. Stone Edge as a way to beat Zard, and I was like, honestly,
Just the
that sounds
kills on
pretty
the other
cool.
side.
That was selling me. No guard Stone Edge.
Wolf was just running double stab, but
No, Wolf had
uh,
stabs.
I have
Yeah.
seen I have seen some of them.
I know. I actually I really do want to watch Wolf's games with this one. So like this is I've never done his Patreon before, nothing against it, but this is the closest I've been. I'm just like, all right, this is actually pretty heat. I kind of want to get in there. I kind of want to find out what's happening. Um let's talk about Thorpe's team, Daniel Thorpe, which is so wild to me. Daniel is formerly one of my locals from the Chicago area. I believe both of us have moved out of there since then. John, I feel like you came to our local sometimes. You've probably played Daniel at a local
Yeah.
before.
I've played him before too,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's nice to see him still active and still kicking it up here with some new stuff. Two of my favorite
This
Pokemon on this team,
true.
Sableye for sure, and Espathra. Now I think, based on if you've watched the Tub Marathon, you know that Espathra was kind of being used there too, and I like this Pokemon. I think it's pretty infamous in singles for sure, but I don't know if many people really expected it to be that good in a doubles format with the limited decks. But yeah, this is the Calm Mind Baton Pass set, which you can stack a bunch of speed boosts, get a couple Calm Minds, and then pass it to like a Floette or our
Yeah.
Chaladon. Our Chaladon is also a very good abuser of the boosts. And
Yes.
yeah, I think that is also strong. Lumina Crash is also an insane move. That move is so good. And the
is.
item, I've seen a lot of different items. Colbur makes sense. You just don't want to like get bodied by King Gambit or like random knockoffs or whatever. There's a lot of dark coverage here as well. But this team makes a lot of sense. It's just a classic Sableye Archaludon, but with a little extra flair, a little extra ostrich tossed in. And yeah, I
One
kind of
thing you
like
got to
it.
watch
I
out
don't
for
really
with
know
this
about the
one.
blind hypnosis. I
Yeah,
don't know about the
that
blind
is a little
hypnosis
wild.
ability to it.
I
But
think I watched
it's
Zine
best of
playing
one
with this.
variants, so maybe that's the play. And
Right.
Sinistra without Matcha Gacha seems weird, but honestly, as a Mega Gengar player, I always look at Sinistra and I'm like, yeah, this guy's only got Matcha Gacha. I'm not worried about it. So whenever they Shadow Ball me, I'm like, oh fuck. And that's like the whole thing, because Sinistra wants to have a lot of different support moves and usually can only afford one coverage. So the fact that you have to choose between Matcha Gacha or Shadow Ball, usually ends up being like the opposing player will just make the call that, oh yeah, you don't have ghost coverage on this. This Pokemon's a ghost type, but doesn't have ghost moves. So when it does have a ghost move, it can catch people off guard, especially in close team sheets. So makes a lot of sense. This team, no physical attackers whatsoever, but I guess it doesn't matter.
That
when
is
you have
actually
Limited
zero
Crash
on. I
and
didn't even
Calm Mind
realize
Baton
that.
Pass.
So yeah, another thing about this team that's like a slight little deception is that like I bet everyone was expecting Sableye to always have Rain Dance on teams like this in the GC, and this one just doesn't even have it. This one has Encore Disable and the screens. But yeah, I'm curious. Fede, have you been seeing a Spothra around probably before the GC? Is it something that you think is like strong and real, or do you think it's just kind of a silly gimmick?
I was not too familiar with it before the GC. I actually lost to Daniel, and I honestly think this team is ass, and I just think he's good at the game. Like, he's not a really known player, but I remember playing him last year at MPA, and he was like 4-0 or 5-0 when I played against him, and he was also almost winning the GC. So I just think he's a good player out of the radars. But like, even when he played against me, he had to took very big risks to be able to win. And I tried out this team a little bit yesterday on my stream, and it just felt ass. It was just like Espatra, even under screens, it takes too much damage, and it's extremely hard to set up without risking to die. So what happens most of the times is that to actually have a setup, you have to take risks and just make prediction, and you cannot play very linear or safe as a team like that it's supposed to be. So I feel like maybe I have not gotten enough matchups to be able to play without being forced to set up, but I'm not gonna lie, the team and especially the Spadra just felt terrible. I just think TTT is a good player.
Somebody in the chat
Interesting.
says
Interesting.
the same thing about Mike. Seawolf Mike said the same thing about you said about your own team, that maybe this was just better before people knew what was going on as part of it.
Yeah, also, yeah, for sure. Same thing.
And
Yeah. Also, we do have like the knowledge of like, I think people in my or in one of my servers was like talking about Sableye, how the CTS just makes Sableye way better. Like the value of Sableye goes up in close team sheet for sure because it learns so many moves. There are so many moves this thing learns, and it's like half of its disruption, half of its support. Like you never really know what the Sableye is doing until you actually see it do it. And I know I was running Sableye in my run too, and I had 4 moves that like worked for my team as like a Swiss Army knife, but a lot of people wouldn't see it coming. They would just be like, okay, well, he's got a Mega Gengar, so for sure it's got Encore, right? But then they're like, oh, it has Light Screen? Okay. Oh, it has Will-O-Wisp? Okay. Oh, it has Quash. Oh, I didn't see that one coming. And then like I get the kill on Bastion Legion and then it dies. So like it's like you know, what is that one? The Schrodinger's cat of Pokemon in closed team sheet best of 1 format. You really don't know what it's doing until it shows you what it's doing. The good thing is though that it does nothing in the darks, so it has like actual counterplay, and like Sableye mirrors are just like they look at each other and they don't do anything to each other, and that's what makes it the fun Pokemon. And obviously the stats are terrible, but
dude,
once you know
John,
what it's
I
doing,
almost
it's like
had
a kind of a terrible
experience in my GC. I almost had an experience in my GC run where it was going to come down to Sableye versus Farigiraf in a 1v1, and like notably, if the Fari is just running stabs, it can't hit you, so you just both look at each other and do nothing. But thankfully, my other Pokemon was able to contribute and KO the giraffe before I had to worry about it. But I was like, I was terrified of that endgame. I was like, this is just going to be a stare down. Okay, so yeah, let's see then. Marco, I think, has been streaming with his team, but didn't share the full. No, I shared the OTS. And the thing about this one is that I feel like Marco has a decent amount of influence as well, as it looking like a pretty solid team. Maybe there's some elements that you would think are a bit more best of 1, but I don't know. When Marco won with Jumpluff, or not, did he win or did he do really well? I can't remember. Did he? I don't know. Fede, was it? Did Marco win with Jumpluff, or did he just like finish highly?
He won LAC in last season with Jumpluff, but
No. I'm talking about best of 1. In best of 1, did he?
Oh, like the week before Gdansk when I won in finals against him, he got top 4 at a GC. So he got like top 4 at the GC and made finals next week. And next week he won LAC. So actually he had an extremely strong streak with
Well,
Don
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, so it started in best of 1 though for him is what I'm trying to say with Jump Bluff, right?
Yeah. For the very first tournament where he played, it was a GC the week before the first regional where he played a team. But that's kind of the same thing with me and Maridon Lunala. Like my first time playing, it was not my very first time, but it was during locals. But my first relevant result with Maridon Lunala was a GC last season. So
Okay.
I feel like GCs are a good way to start working on a winning team.
Yeah, it is just like a way to just like kind of test against so many different things that you can just know the general strength of a team for the most part. So I wouldn't be surprised if people start picking this up for open team sheet tournaments as well, or at least something close to it. I played against him on stream, I think, yesterday, and it was looking quite strong. So let's see then some of the other ones before. We're not going to go through all of these, but hey, that is a Conch Dur.
Yo,
What's the conch
Conch?
doing?
Let's go Conch.
Any info on the conch? No.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think I
I
played
would
this
assume I
guy.
missed this though.
Yeah, I played against this guy. I think they got cooked by Ariados, but I have a VOD about that, so I might get some infos about this set, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me check.
Mont says it's probably just Flame Orb. So true. So true.
I think Conch learns like okay, so the team was. Let me check.
Oh my god, yeah.
Zard, King Gambit, Basque Legion, Conch, Archald, and Siblai, right?
Yep.
Okay, that was
one.
the guy. I played against them.
Okay.
But I'm just checking if I got any infos, but actually, like the game was they went Zard Siblai, I went Aerodactyl Sylveon, and turn 1 they double tacted the Charizard. I went Rockslide Hyper Voice, and then turn 2 I just went Mega Dual Wing Beat into Zard, calling them to disable into my Rockslide. And like they disabled into my Rockslide, the Charizard died and I instantly lost. So that was the game. I didn't get many infos.
Let's go.
It is always kind of unfortunate when you fight something heat and then beat it too quickly, and you're like, I kind of wanted to know what you were cooking. But anyways.
Yeah, I think
Len ended up
surely,
go ahead.
Like the interesting info is that the Sableye has Protect, and as John mentioned before, you cannot really never know what Sableye is doing in CTS. And like Protect is surely not a really expected move from a Pokemon with that deep move pool. And he also had Disable, so he's basically like Protect and Disable is a very good combination of moves.
Yeah.
Like basically you scout what they press and eventually disable if it's useful. And also I am pretty sure I didn't see anything else, but I am pretty sure the Conch has Wide Guard. I think the Conch, the
that would make sense.
I don't think there are many reasons to run Conch over some other fight type like Sneasler if you're not running Wide Guard. This guy just does not want to get flinched by Rockslide, and he knows ball.
He's running Mach Punch for sure, though.
yeah. Wide Guard and Mach Punch are here, 100%.
He's wide guarding and Mach Punching, and then maybe if they
like basically whatever this Conch presses, it's not dying to Rockslide. Basically, what happens is while they Wide Guard, I get dual Wing Beat and they die.
Okay. Oh, so I guess Adi's internet died. We'll see. We'll see if he gets back, but in the meantime, we'll just keep going without him. I'm sure he'll get that taken care of. Len and MDB are just kind of using known teams. Len ended up using Edu's Parish team, and MDB just using the same-ish team, or something close to what he's been using. Ryan Clem is just kind of crazy goated. I do not understand this guy. He's just consistently crushing the GCs, despite being somebody that we just like know very little about. And yeah, is just continuing to. I don't know. I don't think they've ever been to an in-person tournament.
Tournament? Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember this name at all. And
they did well in some of the GCs in Regulation H, I think, as well.
I mean, if you look at their profile, it's just like one post each 3 months, which is like I got X high placement at the GC, and that's it. Like that was the only bad one, but like
Yeah.
everything else is like third place.
Third,
What is that?
fifth.
Fifth place. This guy's cracked
Yeah.
at GC.
Yeah, dude, so
ladder
goated.
grinder for sure.
And
Like,
he
it's
literally
just-
doesn't post anything else. This is so funny. Like you will see
I
one
love
post
it.
in 3 months of them. It's like, hey guys, I got top 8 at the GC. And then disappears again.
It's so cool, dude. It's so like it's just awesome. Like just so
This guy's great.
talented
This
at
guy's great.
playing the best of one. Santino using the same stuff. Let me see. I think I wonder if there's any other sick ones. We'll probably just go through the front page here and before moving on. Oh, this one is nuts. I played against a couple of different Espathras in the GC. Maybe just one. One thing you got to watch out with the Calm Mind Baton Pass Espathra is you do kind of have like an auto loss to perish, at least with certain builds. Like I watched Zine play against Edu, I think, on his stream, and Zine like tried so hard for like 10 turns and just couldn't do anything. Perish just,
Baton Pass
'cause it- wait,
also
'cause-
makes
yeah,
the Paris
it baton
song
passes
go,
the
right?
parish.
you do pass the
It passes-
perish,
it passes
yeah.
the baton.
Yeah, that's has.
Yeah,
It's
the
so
best
bad.
thing you can
Terrible.
do is like if you really want to save a Spathra instead of something else, you can baton pass the parish and have an Espathra later. But something is always going to die, and that is pretty bad. I mean, I guess what you could do is you could baton pass the parish to like a ghost type early enough. This team doesn't have that luxury. But if you baton passed to Sinistra, for example, you could then switch out on the following turn to
Mhm.
break the parish a little bit, but it's like a very slow process that like makes you wonder if you're even going to win the game. But yeah, I
Also,
fought
sword power on
against
Delphox is so greedy, right? Like
Stored power
you
is
can't do
crazy
anything with this
greedy.
mon. You can't do
Like-
anything with this mon unless you baton pass to it. That's so all in, right?
It is.
The second place team had Siblai and Sinistra, so with a couple of ghost types, it felt playable against Parish. Surely this one cannot beat Parish.
This one cannot be.
I was thinking the opposite. I thought this one had more of a chance because it had more real Pokemon. I don't know. I watched Zine.
I agree with
it
that.
was like
I
it was
100% agree with that.
horrible. Like Zine is like a very
the
talented
Parish
player, and
probably
Zine could not
assumes
do
the Delphox
anything.
has a move to hit
Yeah.
you, so maybe it's like you can get a couple free turns before they put up Parish, and then
That's true.
you can maybe deal with their.
I would
Gengar,
say-
but
100% this is a better team in terms of the Pokemons that are on the team, but
Right.
the Parish matchup, I think you just lose to it.
You might be right. You
Like,
might
could
be
you
right.
imagine everyone beating Wolf with Parish with this team?
No,
Definitely.
you're 100%. Actually, I'm looking at it and like, there's just no. Yeah, it's just gonna be tough. I will say one thing I do really like is I think that a Spathra Sneasler with these two sets are really fun. Because not only does Sneasler have that natural synergy of beating the dark types and steel types for Espathra, but putting on a coaching on your Espathra, like fake out, Calm Mind, protect, coaching, baton pass, like you're just giving an Omni boost to whatever Pokemon comes in. It sounds so fun. I don't know if you
this
get
is
to
playing
do
your
it that
soul with
often.
extra steps.
It is, but it's for anything.
You're
It's for
playing your soul with
anybody.
extra steps, but it's for anything, so it's okay, right? The extra cost.
Dude, John, I don't know if you fought it on the in-game ladder. There's a Poltegeist, Poltegeist team going around with Shell Smash Baton Pass.
I have not, but that is a set I've seen before, and I'm always like spooked about it because I know it can do that. And It's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. Poltegeist seems like I don't really know. I don't really know what like outside of that specific Shell Smash Baton Pass interaction. I'm not even sure what else you can do with it besides have strong Shadow Balls, right? I don't think it really gets any other moves.
It had Shadow Ball, I think, and probably some attacking move, Protect. No, wait, did it have Protect? It had Shell Smash,
like Shell
Baton
Smash,
Pass,
Baton
and
Pass.
Wisp. It had Wisp,
Oh,
the one I
Wisp,
saw,
okay.
so probably one attack. I guess you can just not run Protect on it because it's just trying to Baton Pass anyways, and it is a Ghost type,
That's
so
true. That's true.
can't be faked out
Nothing to
anyways.
worry
So, yeah, I'm just taking a quick scan at the second page to see if anything cool. I did see there was some Manectric from B Trick Room, and
Whoa.
who else was it? Elizabeth, maybe? Was off
Elizabeth,
using
yeah.
this?
I think Elizabeth published a team report of this one.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if it's
Uh,
under paywall or if it's free, but I know that the team report of this exists.
Got it. Okay. I honestly, I don't care if both of these very strong players are using Manectric. I still think it's got to be horrible. Like what? I don't know. What do you
I
think,
think it's
Fede? Do you
gotta
think
be
this mon's
ass.
anything?
I think it's gotta be ass. Like maybe in a world where there is an actual electric type threat, or maybe you just need it to block our Chaludon electro shots or something. Maybe it has a use case, but I think
You can
Intimidate
block
is like,
your own electro shot to get a double special attack boost.
So
yo, hey
true.
yo, oh, hey yo, hey yo.
I think it's ass 100%. You could use a
No, I
better
think it's
mega.
terrible.
Right? I don't know. All
Maybe
these rain teams. Go ahead.
maybe it's like okay into Aerodactyl, maybe, but probably not. Like it's still
Right.
outsmarting you.
The rain teams are just really shopping around for whatever the best mega is for the team. Whether it's Scizor, Dragonite, some are using Venusaur, some are still just saying, I'm gonna put Floette on this anyways.
Or
Maybe this is
Charizard,
the
they're
one I
just
was
doing
thinking
double
of
weather.
that had Stone Edge. Nah, just Cross Trap Dual Wing V.
Oh, this is the SmackDown Fisher
Boring.
guy.
See, the thing
this is the
is
protect
like,
fake out Encore disable. What a
what did
disable.
Wolf have instead of SmackDown? I think Wolf didn't have SmackDown, which I thought was surprising.
He had body press.
Yeah, okay. I
And
don't
he
know.
also
I
had
thought...
Sinistra. Sinistra
Yes.
over Siblai.
Yeah. I'm surprised that
Makes sense.
there's no SmackDown on Wolf's Snorlax. I feel like it makes it a lot more consistent, I guess. I know that they can switch out, but usually it's like in the end game,
Yeah,
or like you can
1v1 with the Charizard are S with the. But I think whatever move you're running, you will always have some annoying 1v1 against some flying types. Like for example, with body press, you have another type against like Charizard, Dragonite, basically into whatever flying type that also resists body press. But for example, like does Smackdown permanently smackdown that Pokemon, or is it only for that turn?
It's permanently until they switch out, I think.
yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
always use it. Like I was like, I feel like with Smackdown you will always lose an hand game to Corviknight, but like you can Fisher after that, right?
Pardon me for asking a silly question here, because I've seen a couple people
Why
say
would
it.
you use Smackdown then? That's
I
crazy.
feel like it's
That's much
SmackDown,
better.
but is it body
SmackDown
press the fighting
seems
move, or
normal.
is it body slam the normal move?
It was
think
body press the
fighting
fighting move.
no,
Oh, okay. I don't know why I
You're
had thought it was
stockpiling,
body
so
slam
yeah.
this whole time. Okay. Whoops.
It just seems not good though, because you cap at +3, right? So you're not even that strong off your body press. But I guess it's just specifically for Gambit.
It's nice for King Gambit, I guess. Yeah, you can
I
do
think
that
it's just
because
for
Gengar
Gambit,
hates
right?
that. But I mean, you have a Hawlucha
Yeah, Gengar
usually
hates
on the
that too.
strategy, so
Yeah, they don't.
I'm a believer in the SmackDown a bit more. Okay, so I did forget about to ask this part. So Fede, in your run, you said that you got like almost like blacklisted, shadow banned for like an hour or something at least. What happened?
Like honestly, I cannot tell exactly what happened. But the funny thing is, this happened right after losing to Wolf, and I still had 7 games remaining, and I ended up being able to play them, and winning 5 out of 7 was enough to winning 5 without playing the last 2 was enough to get back to first place. But I do not really know why this happened. Like this even happened during my stream, so at some point I just could not find any opponent anymore, and I stopped my stream after like 30 minutes of not finding anyone, but then I stayed 1 more hour without finding anyone. And I think what most likely happened is that my Hype got blacklisted. I cannot tell why, but because like this is something that used to happen in the whole GCs. If you maybe you disconnect too many times, these kind of things, but I have never disconnected at all.
Right.
And basically, at some point, I couldn't find any game anymore. Then I just disconnected my Switch from my home Wi-Fi, connected with the hotspot from my phone, and then still couldn't find anyone. But then I connected back to the home Wi-Fi, played some games in like free battles, those ones with no rank, and
Yeah.
reset again to the phone connection, and then I was finally able to find opponents again. But the thing is that I am pretty sure like many people during my stream were just saying like you are too high rated and you couldn't find anyone at your rating. But I'm pretty sure this is wrong because like meanwhile there was Len and Joe streaming and they were still not as IFBeam at all, but especially Lan was almost as high as me, and he was constantly facing opponents with very low waiting times. And I was feeling so bad. Like, meanwhile, I was here struggling to find someone. I was seeing everyone else playing, and basically, then after I managed to find my first opponent after that hour and a half, then every other opponent just came up immediately right after. Like my longest
Interesting.
third time after that was like 1 minute or not even that. So
That's so
I got
weird.
just blacklisted for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe someone did not want Ariados to win, but
They were
yeah,
just
that,
like,
that was
your
the
tech is too hot. You gotta cool down for an hour.
Yeah, I honestly
But
don't know how to explain it. It's so weird. It's like something like they just, I don't know, like your account, like you said, just kind of got shadow banned for like a little bit
they're
for
just
some
like,
reason.
this is the mandated. Oh, you should take a break. Why not take a break?
Why
We
not
play
take a
like
break? Yeah, so true.
yeah, the Wii era. It's like, ah, you've been playing for a while. Why not take a break? Type thing.
also
My gosh.
someone is asking what was the largest elo difference that I saw, and actually
Yeah.
now that you remind me of that, I can check this from my video, but like the first game that I played after 1 hour and 30 minutes of surging was against a very low rated guy. Like, and this is by far the highest elo difference that I had. I was at 830. My opponent was at 690.
830,
Okay, that's pretty
690.
It
big.
was
Okay.
140 points.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah,
when you get
that's
that
pretty
high, that does
sizable.
sound kind of, I guess, par for the course. Like I don't know that
Yeah, it's normal.
right.
Yeah, I remember my
But that
last
still
game.
is
I
pretty
also
big.
played a 1660s, and I was 1750. So
Hmm.
like, not huge difference. That's just kind of a normal like pairing. But I remember like, I was like, oh wow, that's pretty. If I can win this one, I can get enough points to cut. And it's like, well, I didn't get enough points because they were a little lower rated. But
I actually think my first loss in the GC, maybe I didn't lose my first game, but I lost like my third game, and it was against like a 1450. I was like devastated. I was like, "Oh God, dude, they're so low.
oh,
They're
dude,
gonna take everything
no,
from
dude,
me."
Carson literally lost to a 1410 player in game one.
No.
Dude, he got owned. It was like Mega Meganium, like something something, but he just got like owned every turn. It was crazy.
That's so good.
The
Okay, let's
1410
talk
player, baby.
let's talk about the VR results then. So we'll keep it moving here. So Victory Road also did a tournament this weekend. Fede, you actually played in it yourself. We talked a little bit about your team, but and you actually had, I mean, quite an incredible weekend, getting first in the GC as well as top 8 in VR. But Julio ended up taking the whole thing with a Scoville and T-Tar team, a double mega team. Honestly, using a combination of 6 that at least I haven't quite seen. Notably, the Excadrill isn't even running Earthquake; it just has high horsepower. Corviknight doesn't even have Roost; instead has like Tailwind. But yeah, other than that, a lot of like standard-ish sets and Pokemon, and kind of really just showing how consistent Scovillain is. Like it's easily a top 5 mega, which is probably not something we were expecting to say day one of the format or anything like that. But it's just so funny where we are now.
Yeah, like I lost to him in top 8. So like he faced the whole squad with my team.
Mm,
Because we played as an Italian group, that team with Exlash, and
right.
it
Yeah, I
was
remember that.
like a lot of Stefano Greppi was the only one playing without Exlash. He had Farig Breath,
Sure.
but he was still on the group. And like basically a funny thing that there was someone playing Scovillian over there. Basically, I saw someone tweeting about the fact that only Italians were playing Sylveon in the VR, and Julio just faced all of us. He got the same exact matchup, top 16, top 8 at finals. And this was a really good matchup to him. Like I mentioned before, how Mega Aerodactyl is one of the strongest Pokemons in my opinion. And surely this does make Excadrill a really good Pokemon, because Excadrill is probably one of the single best mons you could use into Mega Aerodactyl. It just does not get any damage at all. It's one of the very few things that it's able to outspeed, and it's one it KOs it. So the matchup into Julio's team was very annoying. That actually, I got flinched 4 times out of 5 rock slide targets, but that's also what makes X really strong. It's a rock slide that is faster than
Fast
Mega
rock slide.
Rodactyl, it's faster than
Yeah.
Scarf Garchomp. So I think X really is really, really good, and it's a little bit underrated. Like,
Mm-hmm.
It has 2
Jul-
flinch moves.
yeah,
Just one.
yeah, like Julio is known in Italy for playing like trash teams, and playing stuff like Volcarona, Terrapagos, this kind of thing. Just are setup based teams that usually have like no aura to win tournaments, just not really ambitious, just extremely weak to RNG and stuff. And like right after talking with Julio about our match, he told me like, finally, I also have a team that can hacks people. And
Yes.
like I think this team is pretty good. Like it's just a mix up of really solid good stuff like Sneasler and Basque Legion. You got actually which is Exotitar, which is really good into Charizard Y and Mega Rodactyl, which are by far the most played megas at the moment. It's still pretty good into Floette, and I think this team adds somehow to pretty much every top mega and top team. And if you're desperate, you will just press Rock Slide. Like this team is interesting, and I feel like for some reason, um, it will always it will still be the average Julius team. Like usually, Julius teams are not really high usage, and people tend to not steal them. But I will not be surprised if this time someone steals that. I do not expect this team to become top usage because there are some mons that people do not like. Corviknight is trash, and many people just do not like to play it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the overall team is really good.
The
Yeah,
team
I think,
idea of
like you
Sand
said,
4 with some good stuffs.
this is a bit of a different team from what Julio normally runs, and so it definitely feels like something that would appeal to more people than the protect Mr. President, Terrapagos, or Volcarona type teams that Julio's used in the past. Now, then yeah, so you said yeah, it ended up playing against it in top 4. Oh wait, no, maybe not in top 4. But in
Yeah, I got
finals.
fifth.
Um,
And Mattia
so
played against him in finals with the same matchup.
yes. So the same team there. I actually think I got a question about this maybe on one of my streams the other day, and I was like, I definitely want to come back to it on Top Takes. They were asking about water toros because it's kind of been having like consistent finishes, and I was like, I guess honestly, the more I think about it, the more it like makes enough sense to me. It seems like a decent enough Pokemon right now. So yeah, everything else around this is wow, that's Temper Flare Charizard. I did not even realize that's not Flare Blitz. Wild.
Oh yeah, because they just want to get faked out, and
Stopping
then you have a 150 power base fire move that
Don't
makes
rock slide
contact.
flinch
That's a
it.
lot
Don't
of
rock
damage.
slide flinch this Charizard. You'll make him very angry.
You'll be very mad.
So that's actually kind of sick. I rock with that. But yeah, I guess I don't know. What do you guys think about Water Tauros? John, you
I
want to
think
go ahead?
if you are
interesting.
I think if you are kind of like dying for water coverage, and you don't necessarily need the power of last respects, I feel like this is an acceptable slot in over what would probably be a Basque Legion otherwise, right? Maybe you just really need the fighting coverage. I don't really know.
Like
But
this kind of team performed well at the previous VictoryRoad tournament of Sneasler with coaching with Charizard X and the second Salamon and Sinistcha.
Right.
And usually the past 2 slots used to be an Intimidate counter and an Intimidate. And the most common pair used to be Milotic and Ensign, while this guy picked up Tauros and King Gambit. So I feel like Tauros makes sense because Ensign is doing kind of trash recently. Like,
yeah,
I would say it has
really hard
been.
out there.
I would say Ensign has basically never been that bad in any format where it was viable. And having a different Intimidate, it's interesting. Because Tauros actually has a much better offensive and defensive synergy with Charizard X and Sinistcha than Incineroar has. It just completes the Fire, Water, Grass core. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they do share any weakness at all. And I just do not like too much the Tauros having Raging Ball instead of Wave Crash. Like screens are not
Yeah.
really common, and how is this thing supposed to do damage? Like Raging Ball from Citrus Berry Tauros is just trash damage, but I
It's not
think
doing
that's
anything.
interesting. I still feel like probably Milotic and something else fits this composition a little bit better. Like Milotic is surely strong, but for example, um, with my own matchup into that, I had more problems than I would have had if they had Milotic. Not because of the Tauros itself, but because of the King Gambit. And obviously, if Milotic was there, you would have Insane on the slot. You will not, you will have Insane 100%. You will not have King Gambit. So I feel like just having different slots makes it fine. Because obviously, coaching it's not only useful for you, like obviously if you play Milotic Insane on this slot, you're most likely only gonna use coaching on your megas. But with King Gambit, it can also be a really good coaching target. And I feel like obviously Sneasler King Gambit is one of the strongest pair of two Pokemon in the format. And it's good to in general, my opinion on these setup based teams had always been that if your team is completely based on setup and cannot make anything different, it's just mediocre. And if your team has a chance of both playing around setup while also having a respectable mode of just strong mons that could just sit there and attack, which forces your opponent to have to respect different things in team preview and just offer you mix-up options between games in a best-of-3 set, then this is a really good setup team. And I think the fact that you could swap between just NPC setup with Charizard, Sneasler, Sinistcha, and Tauros to Sneasler, King Gambit, Float, and just smash stabs every single turn makes this team pretty good.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. There are a lot of teams where, yeah, basically if they're double setup, you know what the gameplay is going to look like pretty much at all times. They're going to just try to support the king or the queen, whatever you want to call it. For Tauros, though, bringing it back to one more thing I wanted to mention about it is that it does just feel like an Intimidate Pokemon that is a lot less scared of the Pokemon that you want to be intimidating. You know, like you're not going to be able to intimidate that many Sneaslers, but if you're going to activate the White Herb, at least Tauros isn't getting OHKO'd by a close combat on the following turn. And then you're,
This
if you
guy's
intimidate
also
King
way better at
Gambit,
switching into Garchomp. It's
hey, the
also
Chomp, the
not as
Basket
afraid of
Legion.
not as afraid of King Gambit. Like this thing probably does way better in King Gambit than Sin does.
Yeah.
I'd say.
So all
So,
those,
I can
that's
see it.
enough positive traits
Makes
for me.
sense.
I'm kind of sold. Maybe not splashable, no pun intended, on every team, but I think that it could be quite solid. Let's see. So Sam's team here is, funnily enough, Scovillain and Aerodactyl are like one of the most popular mega duos. But I have not seen a
One
lot
of
of
the
people
pairings of all
pairing
time,
them
baby.
with Rain necessarily, or maybe there's been some. But it usually feels like a
It's
paired
actually
with
something
like
I've been thinking of is like pairing Rain with Scovillain plus Rock type. That seems like a pretty
that makes
decent
sense.
core to build around. And I haven't built it out myself or anything, but that just seems like something to follow as a train of thought. Like Rain plus Scovillain plus Rock type, whether it's Aerodactyl or T-Tar or something. Obviously, you're Rain, so you probably don't want to put T-Tar on the team, but maybe you want to be unnerved T-Tar. I don't know. Like, that is something you can think about later. Is like a fun thought experiment. Maybe unnerved T-Tar has some kind of use case. You can run with
Forgot
Rain.
Sam did send us the paste if we wanted to talk about it on Tub Takes. And notably, Sam mentioned that he also did not get into NAIC. Super unfortunate. But yeah, anyways, here is the team with the EVs. And yeah, I guess the only other comment I really have about this one is Black Glasses King Gambit. I feel like a lot of people have kind of fallen off of that one and just have been shipping it with Chople. And I've been liking Chople as well, but the Black Glasses one, it gets around these Pokemon that are EVing to survive Sucker Punch, mostly Basculegions, if they're like Citrus Berry or Scarf or something like that. This guy just does so much damage with those Sucker
I
Punches.
just noticed that the Aerodactyl does not have Tailwind, but
that is pretty sneaky,
I mean,
huh?
it makes a lot of sense on that team because you already got one other Tailwind, and you do not really have an actual Tailwind abuser. Like Archaudon, King Gambit, and Scoviller are just gonna sit there and rely on their bulk, and Basque Legion needs Choice Scarf. Also, like, oh my god, 24 attack Jolly Basque Legion.
Jolly
This
is so.
This
it's
does
so
not do
weak,
damage,
bro. Adaptability aside, this guy gets intimidated once and then
It's
does
got
no damage.
rain. It's got rain. It's fine. The wave crashes
No,
will
dude.
hurt. The wave
No,
crashes will
dude.
hurt.
No, dude.
Let's see here.
That thing's wimpy.
This is kind of the standard Scovillain type archetype here.
It's the same team from Davide Fazio, who got top
Yes,
8
exactly.
in the Grand Champions Festival with this one.
Yes. Yeah, Davide is so consistent this season, so strong. Couple of different rain takes here with different megas, Venusaur and Dragonite. Got actually that's 2 Mega Venus in top cut here. So I don't know, maybe Mega Venus moving up. This one's
I
actually
definitely think it's on the up
sleep
and up.
powder.
I definitely
What's
think it's
that?
on the up and up. I think it's
Okay.
mostly because of Sinistra and like Rage Powder being a very strong redirection option. Venusaur gets around that obviously, and it's just his stats.
Yeah,
Not
I've been
entirely sure
liking
if
this
3
one a bit
attacks
better.
for Sleep Powder is better, but I do think Earth Power is really good. So I don't really know if you want to cut it for Sleep Powder when Sleep is already nerfed.
Right. I've been liking Earth Power because it just makes it much more of a Pokemon against the steals in the format, like Archaladon and King Gambit. Then it actually trades quite well with some of the most popular non-megas in the format. It also trades well with Floette. That said, I've definitely played some Venusaur games where I've lost to Floette because I Sludge Bomb them, they Moonblast me, and I'm dying to that next Moonblast before I kill them with my Sludge Bomb. But yeah, against like Archaladon, King Gambit, Earth Power can be massive. You can Sludge Bomb into, or not Sludge Bomb, you can Giga Drain against Garchomp, Earth Power the Sneasler, Giga Drain against the Basket Legion. Like, it just has pretty good moves to be clicking into some of the best regular non-mega Pokemon in the format.
Yeah, something I was just came out of my mind when we were talking about the Venusaur is that I really think in this format, if your Mega Pokemon isn't offering you any like utility, it's not a utility Mega, then you probably just need to be 3 attacks. I think that's the best way to get value out of your Mega, unless one of those attacks is like a setup move. But the 3 attacks is like usually way better because then your Mega is more adaptable to certain positions. Something that I've been thinking about a lot is, should I put Focus Blast on Mega Gengar? Because it just really hates King Gambit. And at least in closed team sheet, they're not going to see it.
I like that.
Like, who's going to run Focus Blast on the Mega Gengar? Unfortunately, because Choplo is so popular, you need to be like modest max to get like a pretty good chance of KOing the Chopley Gambit.
No.
But I do think it's like a real consideration where you're just Mega Gengar with 3 attacks and you don't have any utility aside from Shadow Tag. But that's a different team for a different story. I haven't built it out or anything. It's just like something that I've been tossing around my head. Is like, maybe there's a world where 3 attack Mega Gengar is actually good because then you don't have to switch it out of King Gambit or Incineroar or all these other dark types it hates fighting. And yeah, just a little theory. Like, maybe your Mega is supposed to just be more Swiss Army coverage bot than like do a lot of setup or have just stabs or whatever. I think Dragonite is a similar case where it's like mostly coverage bot, right?
Yeah, I get you, 100%. All right, I think what we'll do here is, instead of me picking on some of the more interesting teams, I just want to talk about. We'll use some of the teams to talk about some of the different megas in this format that have been kind of going up and down in usage, and then we'll move on to previewing LA right after that. So, really quick, starting off, I guess we can start with Crab just because it's here and it's funny.
Crab.
Is Crab any good? I don't know. I don't think I believe in it much, but
I think it's
I do not
basically
believe
the
in it.
best Trick Room guy, but Trick Room is not very good, so I would say it's not very good.
Like,
I think
there was an art Trick Room team that got top 8 into the very big Victory Road, the one before that, but it was running Mega Charizard Y and not Crabominable. I basically feel like the best way, even with a fully Trick Room based team, the best way to play hard Trick Room is to do it without the Megas that are supposed to be played there. Like,
yes.
I think it was pretty much this exact comp, but it had King Gambit over there. And also this pretty much this same exact comp, Top Cat, the Grand Champions Festival, but with Kangaskhan here. It was a Kangaskhan with the Ammer Arm, which could go at -2 speed in one turn.
I like that.
Oh,
So
true.
I feel like surely Trick Room is not at its best state ever because you got no choice item, so it's hard to get the maximum value out of the Trick Room turns, and you got. I feel like also there is one big guy that might be good in our Trick Room then, and which we are missing, which is Mega Dragalge. I feel like this one will be good in our Trick Room if it keeps adaptability, but. As of right now, I feel like Trick Room is not as, but probably you should just play it with the classic grade mods and just give up on the crab. I a little sad about it because I really like it as a mega, but it's just not great. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I don't like much of the Trick Room megas like Drampa or Golurk or Crabominable, unfortunately. I think Charizard and
I
Kangaskhan
played
are
one
your best.
feel
Drampa
like
and it died in one hit. It
The
was,
main problem
yeah.
about Crabominable, if you look at his stats, they're actually insane. Like it actually drops down the speed by 10 and doesn't waste any of the mega points. So it actually has 110 extra points in the mega, and its defensive stats are actually insane. I think the main issue with Mega Crabominable is that Fight Ice, it's terrifying typing defensively. So even if it's extremely bulky on paper, looking at the stats, it's actually not really
It's
bulky
so
because
much-
every
yeah.
single attack it gets is gonna be super effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when it's that way, you need to be like Calyrex Ice or Mega Tyranitar to have enough bulk to cover the has defensive type. And
I was going to
Crabominable is
mention Cali
bulky, but
Ice.
it's not enough.
Yeah.
Mm.
But the thing about Cali Ice is that it's like self-supporting and that it learns Trick Room. That's why I just don't like these megas, is that they're just like need to be babied. They need Trick Room to be set up for them, and then they can start doing the damage. But like, who's gonna get up the Trick Room? It's gonna be like Incin and Fari, and then
They need a chaperone. They need a
Yeah.
chaperone for sure.
they do.
Meanwhile, Calyrex is the chaperone, baby.
Yeah, let's see. So the next one, Frostlass is still like, I don't know. I'm thinking Frostlass is like on the edge of like top 5 mega, but I feel like it's being used less and less. So
Mhm.
I don't know. This one's actually kind of funny because it's on a double weather team, but I guess just in general, Frostlass is still a cool mega, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it's still like top 5, 6, or 7 or so, but like, yeah, I don't know.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts on it, Fede? Frostlass.
I got first in the Battle Stadium with it, but it was like many weeks ago. Like the score I got first with Frostlass with is now not even enough for like top 500. So surely it was like early meta, and it definitely feels like Frostlass had fell off since then. But I think it's still fine. Like it probably fell off more than it deserves. I think it's still good. It's good into rain. Frostlass Charizard are great because like Frostlass is good into rain unless rain has Mega Caesar as a mega, but like rain with Mega D-Knight, you beat it with Frostlass. Rain with Mega Caesar, you beat it with Zard. They both pair really well with just the very standard guys like Sneasler, King Gambit, Garchomp. So I think this team comp is very strong anyway. I don't really get why it fell off that much.
Yeah, I don't really either. I think it's quite good. The speed tier is nice. It's pretty strong. Blizzard's great. I have recently been facing a fair few amount of like Glaceon teams on the ladder. I don't
Okay,
really
I don't know
know if
about
that's the
Glaceon.
direction
I don't
you
know
want to
about
go.
Glaceon.
I don't know if that's the direction you want to go. I think it's just people who like Glaceon, to be honest. But I mean, it's a Snowcloak guy. If you happen to run into a non-weather team, you can cheese. It's a strong Blizzard. Also, I like kind of the bulkier Frostlass. I don't know if that's normal or not, but the bulkier Frostlass seems to be better than like the straight sweeper version of Frostlass. I'm pretty
Right,
sure
right.
that's standard though, right? Like you want to put some
One
bulk
second
into
here,
the
John.
Frostlass.
Thank you, Marco, for the raid. Thank you guys for coming in. We're in the middle of Tub Takes, just talking about the Victory Road teams. We talked with Fede earlier about the GC team, and so that'll, if you want to catch the beginning of this because you missed it, this will be up on YouTube tomorrow on Audio's YouTube channel, CK49. But in the meantime, yeah, we're gonna keep dissecting some of the teams from VR and just talking about some of the megas in general. And the next one I wanted to talk about was specifically Meganium. Because Because Meganium is one that obviously it's like one of the flashiest, most fun megas because it's a cool, unique ability, and it hits really hard for single target attacks.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised by this thing actually. Damage output wise, it's actually really strong. Yeah.
But do we think
I'm
it
not
can
gonna lie.
still cut it? I feel like as time is going on, I've been seeing less of them, and yeah, I'm just not sure if the meta is too hostile for a Pokemon with a quadruple weakness
4x
to
poison
Sneasler,
weakness.
basically.
Mm.
Maybe Meganium is the next guy to be supported by Ariados, but um,
Mm.
I feel like isn't this like William Brown's team from the
It is. It
last
is.
year? He got top A with that, I think. Yeah. I have been thinking a little bit on some edits on this team. I think a potential cool edit is to play like um, Mystic Water Basque Legion, still with adaptability, with a low speed that outspeeds stuff like Scarf, Rod, and Wash in Tailwind, which means it's still kind of slow for Trick Room. And I think in
Yeah.
general, Meganium with Rain is an interesting concept. The issues that basically this is like you got Sneasler, Basque, King Gambit, and even Aerodactyl, which are kind of the guys that you can literally put everywhere and you will never be wrong. I feel like these four can make any other Pokemon and any other Mega or almost work in last two slots. Like surely Meganium is not that fresh. Like obviously if you're gonna put like Chimecho on these slots, it's not gonna work. But
Yeah.
with Meganium, it's fine enough. When I think of that, I just feel like if we are gonna use the best stuff in the meta, why don't we just pull like Charizard, Floette, or
Charizard.
whatever, or
Yep.
Frost last
Mhm.
year? We're still getting the same exact team composition, but probably just better.
Dude, Fede, I need a better name or like something shorthand for Sneasler, Basque Legion, King Gambit. Because at this point in the metagame, we're talking about them all the time, especially together. I just need a better name for these three because it's so
You can
long
just
every
call it
time.
like as SBK, just with
Yeah.
the
No.
first
We
letter.
got it. It's Scab. It's Scab with a
SBK, that's
K.
the name.
Scab with a K.
Scap with the K. I got you, John. Ah, man.
Or we can do Basque. BASK.
BSK, yeah, but it is kind of Basque.
Basque.
'Cause God, we are talking about them all the time, especially like in Discord and in chat and stuff like that with my friends. I'm just like, I don't want to have to type out Sneasler, Basque Legion, King Gambit, Sneasler, Basque Legion, King Gambit, Sneasler, Basque like it's just so repetitive.
You can also call it maybe the regulation H core.
True.
Reggae core.
They are just Reg H
No,
guys.
not that format. What a fake format.
Okay.
At least
Two
for us in Japan,
more megas I want to get some thoughts on, and then we'll move on. So Kian was using Kangaskhan here. How do we feel about Mega Kang? But this is not on a Trick Room team. I quite like it on Trick Room teams. But I think it's a good guy either way.
I think it definitely feels better on Trick Room, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
still fine. It's just like there's a lot more ghosts and Steezer exists, so the job's a little tougher. But it's still the same mon. It's like still a guy. It's also immune to intimidate. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie, immune to intimidate's pretty good. I've also heard talks of like non-Mega Kangaskhan being useful. I mean, we're not talking about the boat, but I feel like this guy does have Last Resort. That's like a thing it does. So maybe you could do like
Yeah,
some cheap
that's
fake
the
out
side
Last
that
Resort
exists.
stuff. Yeah.
But I think that's more like PO1 CTS
Yeah,
cheese.
for sure.
I don't think it's that good in OTS. So maybe I'm gonna be too rough with Mega Kangaskhan, but my take about it is that we are in 2026, we are not in 2015, so it's just over for that guy.
That's
Yeah, they killed
tough.
that guy on on the Gen 7.
Like a few days ago, I was looking into the World's 18 Top Cat, and there was like only one Mega Kanga. Like Mega Kanga already did terrible in 2018, or kind of like it was just not really great. Then in 2019, it was kind of good again because it was a very good support for Xerneas, or like it was very good on Xernala and Xerneas Groudon teams. So I feel like Mega Kangaskhan, it's not like the main character anymore after it got nerfed. So it's better as a support. And as long as you don't have stuff like Xerneas to support in the format, there are better megas. I think it will get better as the power creep gets up, because you will get some stronger Pokemons to support with Mega Kangaskhan.
I buy that. I buy that. One thing about it that is different than those old formats, the between period when it was, nerfed, is that it does now have the scrappy buff to intimidate. So that's at least one thing that's kind of working in its favor. But there's also some things like in the format right now, like Sinistra. Sinistra is, it's strong and it does completely wall your Mega. Like that's just to have a support Pokemon just destroy your Mega that hard it feels a little tough.
Also, basically, Basque Legion pressing Aquajet cannot be it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
If you are Scarf or faster, yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Oh no.
I will say one thing about Mega Kangaskhan that might be something to consider if you really want to run it in this format is instead of running like something little standard looking like this with fighting dark coverage, you could just like scrap the fighting coverage and just go for like Ice Punch for the cheesy like 20% freeze.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You do get that.
That's like because I feel like when I played Kangaskhan in ladder and GC, I think the worst thing about it that I hated was that okay, well he has Ice Punch, so if I get frozen here, it's ass because then I lose 2 turns, right? And that's like the worst. The scariest part for me was like, oh god, he's got Ice Punch. So if I get frozen, it's like it's kind of cooked because I only have like I lose 2 turns on this Pokemon. It's like
that is actually.
So I think that's something to consider if you're gonna actually consider Kangaskhan as a Mega. Is learning something with hacks. Bite is in the game. Is Bite in the game?
Oh, true. I think it does. I think it still does get Bite.
I don't know.
Okay, last Mega here.
Running a hacks move on Kang is better.
I buy that. I kind of buy it. But yeah, I do think it's definitely not top tier or anything like that. The one that I also think is very much not top tier anymore or whatever is Delphox. I am not
this guy
a Delphox believer.
Fraud alert. This guy fraud alert for sure.
I think it's a fraud. Fede, do you agree that it's fraud or what?
Yeah, 100%. Like it was looking good in the first days, but then it completely fell off. I feel like Mega Charizard Y is better than Delphox in any single aspect besides outspeeding and KOing Mega Gengar. But that's the only thing that Delphox is better than Zard.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't even really matter because you're gonna Weather Ball one-shot the Gengar.
Yeah, and like Gengar can outspeed you, but it does not even do that much. You might be annoyed by some disable interaction, like maybe they protect on your first Weather Ball, and then they disable, send their rain in, and you're doing nothing. But yeah, 100% agree. Like I basically feel like that's not a worth reason to play Delphox instead of Zard.
Yeah.
Also, can't switch into Delphox on the turn you Earthquake with your Garchomp if you didn't Mega. It's like it's really
that is less
way less flexible.
And
yeah, maybe if you'd already had Levitate before the Mega, it was more consistent.
And we're talking about, Sneasler, Basque Legion, King Gambit. You're better into Sneasler, at least arguably. Not that Charizard is that bad into Sneasler, but in terms of Basque Legion and King Gambit, like these are 2 Pokemon that Charizard does fare pretty well against. Turns off the water type attacks for Basque Legion, and it doesn't take nearly as much from Sucker Punch as a Charizard. Also, Charizard's gonna one-shot that King Gambit. Like Heat Wave is not one-shotting that King Gambit. So the more I talk about this more Pokemon, the more I think it just feels so mid.
I feel like one other thing that made it fell off is the fact that in the early days of Champion, Mega Aerodactyl almost had no usage, and Mega Delphox was one of the very few ways to outspeed the Sash Aerodactyl. But now that Mega Aerodactyl is more played than Sash Aerodactyl, it even lost. Like, once I have to be slower than Mega Aerodactyl, then let me just play Zard.
True.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I did want to mention one thing is that James Evans did win a money grassroots, I think, over the weekend using Mega Delphox. So I think it was a dual Mega with Floette, like this team, but not the exact same team. But honestly, I'm just why does it could just be a Charizard? It could just be a Charizard,
like usually this happens in every single format. James Evans plays some kind of shit that it's not even that great, but he somehow does crazy good with it just because it's extremely good at playing the game. But like literally no one steals his team. And if someone else tries to play James Evans teams, they will go X3 at like round 4. Many times is that way. Like,
We're
have you
about to-
ever seen someone playing Evans Corridon in Reg I2? I have not.
That's what I was just about to say. We're about to move on to talking about LA and getting ready for this. And like, yeah, James Evans literally, you know, got second at the World Championship, and I just am like, that's not a team I really have to expect to be ready for this coming weekend in LA. So speaking on that one, I have to go pull the numbers for this one from my own RK9 page. Let me go log in, but I think we're looking at, okay, it's 694 now. I feel like it might have been above 700 like last week or something like that. So maybe the numbers are just steadily dropping. So yeah, not going to be the biggest tournament, which is kind of funny because it's in LA, which is like a, you know, one of the biggest cities in the US. So, but this is what happens when you're playing Regulation I almost a month, or actually it will be a month after Pokemon Champions is out at this point. So
Yeah, that part is the killer, I think, for sure.
I've been having a lot of fun practicing for this one. Loving life, you know, so excited to play some Regulation I this weekend.
Oh yeah. Baby.
And aren't some airlines down too?
I
at
haven't
the
thought about
moment?
Reg I in like 2 years, bro.
Oh, I
That's
guess
crazy.
some people, yeah, there might have been some people having to figure out new flight plans because of Spirit closing, I guess. That's a good
Oh,
point. I don't
true,
know how many
true.
people that impacted, but a lot of VGC players do like to travel on a budget. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a decent number of people that had to rebook or cancel because of Spirit going down. Yeah, that said,
What
though,
is that? Is that like a low-cost American airline?
yes,
It's
it
a
is. What
very
do you guys got?
budget-friendly
Ryanair,
airline, yeah.
I think. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we got Ryanair.
Yeah,
That's
we don't
like-
have like it's the equivalent, I believe.
Something
Yeah, like
that.
every event, most of events in Europe, we just play. We just go with Ryanair.
All right. Yep. So it's the same thing,
Yeah,
but like
it is the
imagine
same.
if like Ryanair shut down like basically like 2 weeks before a regional. Like
That regional in Europe will have like 200 less people. I think.
okay, so you get it. You get it.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking it was gonna be that much, but like maybe
Yeah,
I don't know.
totally the same. It's
The
totally
average
same.
European is much more broke than the average American. Like,
I
if
guess.
Ryanair shut down, we won't have the money for playing Pokemon anymore.
That's actually, I mean, that's kind of, it's so crazy to hear, but like honestly, I believe it. So with this one, it's going to be Regulation I, not NA's first Regulation I. Of course, we had Orlando already that Freeze Eye ended up winning. I have an old 2017 tournament here because I just ended up pulling the old, what is it? This is SoCal. Yes, Southern California. Because honestly, Southern California, Northern California, they're so different. Everyone yells at me when you try to say that they're the same. And so... anyways, we're just going to be using this to look at some names for people that we can expect to be at this tournament. And, yeah, but this one's from 2017, so it's like almost 10 years ago. But Gavin will be there. Raghav
Jesus.
is going. Geo, not going to be going. Geo did move on,
Lives in
honestly, right,
Japan.
John? In the Japan stuff?
Geo made it in. I think he stopped around 1767, 1768. I don't remember. But he
Okay.
definitely went higher than I did. And he was talking the whole time. This is classic Geo, by the way. He hates closed team sheet, best of one shit. So he was like, it's so stressful. I didn't expect it would be this hard. But it's always like this. At least, you know.
Yes.
This is like the 4th time I've done this. So
I don't think it
it's
ever gets
always like
easy,
this.
right? Like, it's never chill.
It doesn't get easier. But this is something I like, personally. So I usually don't mind.
I'm a closed team sheet defender, of course.
I'm a closed team sheet Jimmy. For sure.
Okay, I was going to say Phoenix. I did not know Frontier shut down. I was like, but no, it didn't. Okay. Anyways, Aaron Zhang, we just had him on a couple episodes ago. Will also be here, but casting. Let's move on to the next one. Raghav ended up winning this one, so just mentioned. And then honestly, for the rest of the names, there's Daniel, who just got second in the GC, but Daniel's not from this area.
Jinx.
Yeah, he is running Jinx. Honestly, that team
He's running
looks
the Jinx Ho-Oh core, bro. Wait, what is
horrible.
Saga
This
the
team
best
looks horrible. What is happening here?
That's
Uh,
crazy. That's
but
that's
that's
a
Hold on,
funny
Daniel.
this is
team. I'm not gonna
2018. This
lie.
is 2018. Okay, nobody
Best
knew what they
team
were
in this
really
top.
doing.
Wait a minute. Oh, it's 2019. Okay, I was a little confused. It was in the
2019
year
Yeah,
format.
2018.
it's Fun
2019
series. No gimmick restricted format.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so Emilio, I think is going. I think Emilio's going to this one.
Yeah, it's going like
Ultra series.
I play against him in MPA this week, and he asked me to schedule before Friday because he's going in LA. So yeah.
Yes. So definitely a good pick. I don't think Hemo is doing Vishy. Honestly, I can see Vishy doing it. And then honestly, that's it for a lot of the rest of these. So now we're getting closer to more recent times. San Diego, the first of Scarlet and Violet. And so that is kind of fun, kicking off Scarlet and Violet. We're gonna be basically ending Scarlet and Violet because I don't know. I guess I didn't really talk about that part, but this is NA's last Scarlet
Dude,
and Violet tournament.
I can't believe it. There's only like 4 King Gambits on my screen. That's crazy.
So
5?
true.
What the heck? What were we thinking back then?
I can't actually think about yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny that way because like we have so much hype for the first tournament of a new game, but we really do not have any kind of like special honor for the last tournament of a game. We're all just so sick and ready to move on that like
So,
I
yeah,
think
dude.
that's gonna be the expectation here. And I can't imagine Fede over there. People are excited or anything about Utrecht. Like, let's go honor Scarlet and Violet one last time.
Yeah, like I'm coaching some people for Utrecht, and none of them is excited. I would say, like literally no one. Like I canceled Utrecht just because I was just like I cannot handle that anymore. I do not even like Reg MA that much more than Reg I. It was just like I cannot play Scarlet and Violet anymore.
It's so funny because I was just thinking about that aspect when we were talking about it off stream before we got started. Is that like you're literally like a Reg I champion, but you're just like, nah, I'm done. I'm done.
Nah.
Yeah, like so I feel like even in Reg MA, I am doing quite well. Like I already got first on card, won a GC, my VR result were top 8 and top 32, but I feel like when a format has some objective issues, you should recognize them regardless of how well you're doing. Like
Right.
I know I won an international in Reg I, but that format is trash. Like there are some things that are just objectively wrong, and I will not going to defend this format just because I won a tournament in it.
No, that's real. That's so real.
Yeah.
In fact, I feel like it
That's true.
happens that
That's
way
so
a
true.
lot, where there's people who are just like, yeah, I won the tournament in this format, and this format is ass. I can say with confidence now.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I got some of my first results, I started feeling like maybe doing well in a format changes your feeling about it. Like maybe a format it's bad, but since you have good success in it, you just change your
The
mind about it and
association.
just
Yeah.
will be fine about it. But some formats like Regulation High and Regulation Ham A are just making me change my mind about that. Regulation High especially.
Yep.
For sure.
Okay, so
No,
looking
it's
at more
like
names here.
2016 is definitely the biggest poster for that, right? I like 2016 because I did well in it, but I objectively realized it's probably the worst format ever.
Yeah. There's no defending it, John.
Like, there's literally no defending it. Like, I think maybe if you asked me 5 years ago, I'd be like, 2016 was good. What are you talking about, man? But nowadays, if you
Right.
ask me, I'm like, if I look back at it objectively, I'm like, man, that format was terrible.
Yeah.
But at least it was fun to watch. At least for me.
Some people pointed
In
out
some
some fun
cases,
things.
people's cases, it also wasn't fun to watch either, though, to be honest.
Mont pointed out something fun here, which is that James Evans finished right next to Geo, right here. Wait, just kidding, wrong Geo. Isn't that kind of funny? He finished between the
Geo.
two Geos.
Between Geos, yeah.
Geo sandwich.
That's so
Geo
wild.
sandwich.
Geo, as mentioned, not going to be here. The other Geo, maybe, probably not. I don't know. I mean, like one last chance to play Regulation I if he really wanted to, but also is qualified for Worlds, so it doesn't really need to be. James Evans, same boat. I think James Evans, no shot. Amelia, we already talked about. Aaron Brock should be. I think Aaron is a California player, anyways. Alberto should be there. Wolf, probably not. Rip to my boy Angel Miranda, of course. Zach Carlson should be there. And I can't. I think Pengy might be taking this one off just because already qualified, right? So,
Not sure.
anyways, let's move on to the most recent one. So this one should have the most relevance because this one also was literally the city. I didn't find a tournament that was what is it? This is again SoCal. This is SoCal. I don't think there was a SoCal tournament in 2025. I guess chat could tell me if I was missing one there. I looked at the list of NA tournaments from 2025 and I wasn't finding anything that I thought was SoCal. So this is the most recent tournament that we're going to be talking about for the area. And
I mean, we had Anaheim Worlds.
Okay. Anaheim Worlds.
But yeah, that's not a regional, but
Yeah, no, you get that. Honestly, it's a pretty good point. Worlds would be like honestly something we could look at for the results of this one. But also I don't think Hirofumi is going to be in attendance here, so
yeah, obviously.
I don't know though. The Japanese players have kind of been going places. Most
and the
European
West Coast is
levels,
where they want to go.
but
100%.
They don't want to go there. I don't think.
Closest was Portland in 25. Yeah, Portland's just it's not the LA regional replacement. You know what I mean? Anyways. Adi not going to this one. Mont is going. Justin Burns going. Rajan is not going. Colin not going. ESM is going. Honestly, no idea on Joe. And then Aaron Brock again.
Probably going. I mean, I don't know.
So, anyways, with that, then let's go ahead and wrap things up by picking our smart monies. So, Fede, we gave you a list of a couple names. I feel like I'm always so bad at picking smart monies for Europe, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit tricky for you. But if you, based on the players that we were talking about, who do you want to put your smart money on for LA?
So I actually have one smart money who we did not mention yet.
Okay.
Which it's I think I can add it. It's Carson Sandenis.
Oh, do you mean the guy that's been
okay.
spamming ladder?
Fair point. Fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's one of the strongest ladder heroes, and in general, I feel like I think he's a friend, and he's just insane. Like, he came back after like 7 years of break, and he like day 2 every single tournament he attended. He has already a top 4 in the regional win, so he's just so good at the game, and he actually is the original builder of the Whimsicott CSR Zamazenta team, which made finals at the last regional at Orlando, and which is also the team that Matty Morgan and other people, like mostly Matty Morgan, but also other people I've been doing extremely well with. So my smart monies are on him.
No, 100%. I mean,
bad pick,
I do know that he's been grinding, so somebody to watch out for this weekend, absolutely. John, do you got a pick?
I do. I think I'm gonna go with the lame safe pick and say Mont.
Mont,
think
the defending champ, dude.
It's the same format he won in. It's just like, yeah, this
Or
is
not the
like
same format, not the same
one
format.
that he will run it back and he'll just do the run back.
He won in Reg G, but I mean he has Caloric Shadow, so it's like his last ride with.
He got top 4 at Worlds. Top 4 at Worlds in this.
Yeah,
format,
exactly.
so.
Like
I have
probably
confidence
even
in Mont.
better than winning a regional. So.
Right. All right, I'm gonna go with Aaron Brock. I think Aaron Brock is honestly somebody you can always count on, and it's like such a consistent pick. So I just feel like almost like a guaranteed top 16 with how consistent Aaron Brock is. I have to specify because there's just so many Aarons in this game. But yeah, I feel like Aaron Brock could definitely tear this tournament up. But yeah, I think these are all very solid picks. And of course,
all of these picks are CSR Zama players, by the way.
That's a good point. Oh my god, why did you have to point that out? That's so true. Anyone from Tub going? I mean, I'm going. Nails is going. Justin Burns is going. And maybe some more. I'd have to double check but that's off the top of my head.
Unfortunately, not going.
So
Unless
yeah,
someone wants to sponsor my flight to America, that'd be pretty cool. But
yeah, with like 3 days to go, right?
Yeah.
Let's get you here.
Sure.
Let's get you qualified for Worlds, Sean. Got you one ticket,
I wish,
one shot.
No, dude. If I could go to Indianapolis regional, Well, that would have had to happen a long ass time ago, but I would have actually considered it
Yeah,
knowing the format now.
that right. Yeah, because that would have been basically like going back home. So
Yeah. I
Would've
could
been
visit
sick.
all my friends and get some stuff that I left with them, and it'd been a good time.
and play
but
some
nah,
champions.
It's all right. I'll find another time. Maybe Indy next year.
Wait, Lewis Markle doing the opposite of Fede and coming to LA? Is Lewis Markle coming to this tournament, dude? That's another CSR Zama player.
Let's go see ourselves
Um,
on
Audie couldn't end up reconnecting. I forgot to mention that earlier. He said that he really just like he was on like phone support with people and couldn't figure it out. So I'll maybe ask him if he has a smart money and put it in. But otherwise, I think we're gonna figure out who to throw
You'll let
this
it in
raid
post.
over
You'll let it
to
in
and
post.
wrap up this episode. So Fede and John, thank you guys for giving us our time or your time and for hanging out with us.
You're welcome.
No worries. No worries.
All right, so if you guys are here now, but like once again didn't catch the beginning of the episode where Fede talked about his his GC win and other things, this will be on YouTube tomorrow, assuming that Audie's internet comes back. I mean, if it doesn't, then maybe we'll have to figure things out. But should be on YouTube tomorrow. And yeah, with that, then I'll throw up the stream ending screen and take a look at who we're gonna throw this raid over to. So for now, peace out, peeps. Have a good night. Catch you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next time, guys.